Okay, so again, welcome to Doctor of Public Administration program and congratulations on taking another significant step in your academic and professional journey. So again, I am Dr. Marmelo Abante and it is my privilege to facilitate this course entitled Scientific Research in Public Administration Foundation and Trends. Unlike master's education, no, doctoral education is not merely about acquiring knowledge. It is about creating knowledge. No? Throughout this course, we will move beyond simply understanding existing theories. Instead, we will critically evaluate them. No, challenge conventional thinking, identify research gaps, and develop innovative solutions to complex public administration problems. This course is designed to transform each of you from experienced public administrators into scholars capable of producing original, policy-relevant, and publishable research. By the end of this semester, my expectation is not simply that you will complete another research paper. Rather, I expect each of you to begin building your identity as a researcher whose work can influence government institution, public policy, organizational leadership, and ultimately improve public service delivery. Remember, doctoral education is not measured by how much information you memorize, but by how much new knowledge you contribute to society. No? So allow me to ask everyone, why do governments continue to experience recurring problems despite decades of reforms? Bakit kaya? No? Ito yung lagi nating isinasaisip at sinasagutan sa ating sarili. No? Why do governments continue to experience recurring problems despite decades of reforms? Why do public organizations repeatedly implement programs that produce limited outcomes? And why do public failures continue despite abundant research? Diba? And always the answer is this, no? Because many decisions are based on assumptions rather than a rigorous scientific evidence. That is why scientific research is the backbone of effective governance. Evidence, not opinion, must guide public administration. Wait lang, may tumatawag. Okay. Okay. So, what will be the content of this discussion? Please. The six topics, no, that we have here are not isolated concepts. No? Instead, they represent a logical progression in developing the mindset, no, and understand that only what scientific research is, but also why it serves as the foundation of evidence-based governance, policy innovation, and administrative reform. Today, we will explore six major themes. So number one, of course, is the understanding scientific inquiry, no, in public administration. We begin with the concept of scientific inquiry. No? So scientific inquiry is the systematic process of asking questions, no, gathering evidence, analyzing information, and drawing conclusion based on empirical data rather than assumption, opinions, or political preference. In public administration, scientific inquiry allows us to answer questions such as why do certain government programs succeed while others fail? What factors influence citizen satisfaction with public services? No? How effective are anti-corruption initiative? And why do some local governments consistently perform better than others? As doctoral students, no, your responsibility is not simply to identify problems, but to investigate them using rigorous scientific methods. Remember that governance should never rely solely on intuition because effective governance relies on evidence. Number two is characteristic of doctoral research in public administration. This second topic focuses on what distinguishes doctoral research from master's level research. Because at the doctoral level, research must contribute something new to the discipline. Your dissertation should demonstrate originality, theoretical contribution, methodological rigor, critical analysis, independent scholarship, and practical implication for governance. Doctoral research is expected to answer questions that have not yet been adequately addressed by existing literature. Rather than in replicating previous studies, doctoral researchers identify research gaps and generate new knowledge capable of advancing both theory and practice. No? Okay. Next will be the evidence-based public consideration or public administration. One of the most important movements in modern governance is evidence-based public administration or yung EBPA. Governments increasingly rely on research findings when making decisions regarding budgeting, healthcare, education, disaster management, digital transformation, environmental protection, and social welfare. Evidence-based public administration ensures that policies are developed using credible scientific evidence rather than political convenience and personal opinion. You as present and future public administration scholars, your research should help government leaders answer one important question. Ano yon? What does the evidence suggest we should do? And this is the value of scientific research. Knowledge creation in governance. Doctoral education is fundamentally about knowledge creation. Knowledge creation means producing ideas, models, theories, frameworks, or innovation that did not previously exist. Again, knowledge creation, ito lagi ang hinahanap natin sa output na inyong research. You can produce ideas, pwedeng models, pwedeng theories, pwedeng frameworks, at pwedeng innovation na hindi pa siya available sa mga nakaraang studies. Let's say, for example, a new governance framework, an administrative model for island municipalities, a policy evaluation tool, a digital governance maturity model, or a citizen participation framework. And this become contributions to the body of knowledge in public administration. Again, knowledge creation transform researchers into thought leaders capable of influencing public policy and administrative reform. The fifth topic differentiate two major types of research, no? The applied research versus basic research in public administration. Again, basic research aims to expand theoretical understanding. Its primary objective is to answer questions such as why does organizational trust develop? How does leadership influence public service motivation? What theories explain bureaucratic behavior? Basic research contributes to theory. Applied research focuses on solving practical problems. No? Example, improving procurement system, reducing processing time in government offices, enhancing digital governance services, evaluating public health intervention, strengthening disaster preparedness programs. Because public administration generally emphasizes applied research because government institutions continuously seek evidence-based solutions to operational and policy challenges. However, doctoral scholars should understand both perspectives because theory and practice complement each other. Finally, we will discuss how research influences governance today. Scientific research no longer ends with publication. Modern research is expected to create real societal impact. And the current trends include, right now, ito yung pwede nyo consider sa inyong mga researches, sa inyong mga dissertation, sa inyong dissertation 1 and 2, artificial intelligence in research, big data analytics, predictive governance, no, smart cities, digital government, open government data, and policy analytics, machine learning, no, evidence-based policy making, sustainable development goals, environmental, social, and governance research, bibliometric analysis, systematic literature reviews, and interdisciplinary public administration research. as doctoral researchers, you should continuously monitor these emerging trends because they represent future direction of the discipline. Research today is increasingly collaborative, technology-driven, interdisciplinary, and globally connected. So, we try to discuss it one by one, no? The 6 topics. Once again, no, now we begin the first major topic as what I have here, no, understanding scientific inquiry in public administration. So this topic serves as the intellectual foundation of the everyday dissertation you will undertake in the doctoral program. Before we discuss methodologies, statistical techniques, qualitative analysis, or theoretical frameworks, we must first understand what scientific inquiry truly means. No? So again, scientific inquiry is far more than conducting surveys, no, or collecting data. It is a discipline and systematic way of thinking that enables us to understand reality through evidence rather than assumption. Public administrators, scientific inquiry is indispensable because public policies, no, administrative reforms, and governance decisions affect millions of people. And every decisions made by government leaders should be informed by evidence, not by personal opinion, political preference, or tradition. Today, governments are expected to justify where or every policy using empirical evidence. Consequently, doctoral graduates in public administration must be capable of generating that evidence. No? So, now, wait lang inom na. Ulan. Okay. As doctoral students, you must recognize that scientific inquiry extends far beyond academic research. No, it is a way of thinking, a disciplined process of seeking truth, systematic investigation, and evidence-based reasoning. So again, scientific inquiry is a systematic, logical, objective, and ethical process of generating reliable knowledge through observation, questioning, investigation, and validation. The key phrase here is reliable knowledge. No? Knowledge becomes reliable only when it is supported by empirical evidence, subjective to critical evaluation, and capable of being verified by other researchers. In public administration, no, scientific inquiry allows us to move beyond assumption and answer complex governance questions through research. The first box here is about nature and purpose of scientific inquiry. Scientific inquiry exists because human beings naturally seek explanation for the world around them. However, unlike casual curiosity, scientific inquiry follows a structure and discipline process. Its primary purpose are to discover new knowledge, to explain phenomena, predict outcomes, to solve problems, and scope of scientific research. No? So, the scope of scientific research actually focus on public policy, katulad ng policy formulation, policy implementation, policy evaluation. Pwede rin namang public management, no? Organizational performance, strategic management, human resource management, and financial administration. When it comes to local governance, you can do research on local autonomy, community participation, no, barangay performance or barangay governance rather, provincial administration. Of course, either public service delivery, no, healthcare, education, transportation, social welfare, disaster response. For digital governance, we had modern governments increasing depends on technology. Katulad nga mo sinabi natin, artificial intelligence, smart cities, e-government, digital transformation, cybersecurity, and big data analytics. These represent emerging frontiers in public administration research. So ang dami yung pwedeng option, ang dami yung pagpilian na gagawing research. The role of scientific inquiry in public administration. Research support evidence-based decision making. Our government leaders constantly make decisions involving limited resources. Let's say, example, no, allocating budgets, prioritizing infrastructure, implementing healthcare programs, improving educational system, addressing climate change, strengthening disaster resilience. Every decision has consequences. Scientific inquiry reduces uncertainty by providing credible evidence. Instead of asking, what do we think will work? Government leaders should ask, what does the evidence show? That is the essence of evidence-based governance. Let's say, for example, suppose a city government plans to introduce a cashless payment system for business permit. So a political approach might immediately implement the system. So a scientific approach asks, is there public readiness? What technological barriers exist? Will implementation reduce transition time? What is the expected return on investment? And how will small business owners adapt? And what risks should be anticipated? So these questions require systematic investigation. Only after obtaining empirical evidence should implementation proceed. Scientific inquiry as a foundation of policy. No, policy development generally follows 3 stages. Dapat before implementation, during implementation, and after implementation. Before implementation, we need to research, identify the problems. During implementation, research monitors progress. And after implementation, research evaluates outcomes. So without scientific inquiry, policymakers operate with limited information. With scientific inquiry, policymaking becomes transparent, accountable, and evidence-based. No? So, having understood the definition and scope of scientific inquiry, we now examine the fundamental principles that distinguish scientific research from ordinary observation or personal opinion. Scientific inquiry is governed by principles that ensures that the knowledge we produce is credible, reliable, and useful for decision making. Among the most essential of these principles are objectivity and reproducibility, as well as systematic observation and experimentation. These principles form the backbone of all high-quality research, are particularly important in public administration, where research findings often influence public policy, organizational reforms, and government programs. Let us first discuss the objectivity and reproducibility. Objectivity means that researchers must remain impartial throughout the entire research process. As scholars, our personal beliefs, political affiliation, professional experiences, or organizational interests should never influence how we collect, analyze, or interpret data. Instead, conclusions must emerge from empirical evidence. No? Reproducibility, on the other hand, means that if another researcher follows the same procedures using the same methods and similar conditions, they should arrive at comparable findings. No? These principles strengthen the credibility of scientific knowledge because research findings are not dependent on the individual researchers but on the rigor of the methodologies employed. No? So to illustrate, imagine that a researcher wants to determine whether a digital governance initiative has improved the efficiency of business permit processing in a city government. If the researchers already believe that digitalization is always beneficial, there is a risk of selectively interpreting data that support the belief while ignoring evidence to the contrary. Scientific inquiry requires the researchers to remain objective and analyze all available data, whether favorable po man yan or unfavorable. If another doctoral researchers conduct the same study using the identical research design and obtain similar results, confidence in the findings increases. So that is why reproducibility is regarded as a hallmark of sound scientific research. The second principle is the systematic observation and experimentation. Scientific inquiry does not rely only on casual observation or isolated experiences. Instead, you as researchers collect information through a careful plan and a structured process. So every stages of the investigation, from identifying the research problem, reviewing related literature, designing the methodology, selecting respondents, collecting data, analyzing results, and interpreting findings must follow established scientific procedures. This systematic approach minimizes errors, no, it reduces biases, and ensures that the conclusions are supported by sufficient evidence. Consider, let's say, for example, a provincial government that introduce a new performance-based incentive program for its employees. A manager may quickly conclude that the program is successful because employee morale appears a higher after implementation. However, scientific inquiry demands a more rigorous approach. Researchers should or would establish baseline performance indicators before the program implementation, conduct employee interviews, and analyze whether observed improvements are statistically or substantively significant. Only after this systematic process can researchers confidently determine whether the incentive program truly caused the observed changes or whether other factors contributed to the outcome. And these principles are particularly relevant in the public administration because governments manage public resources, formulate policies, and deliver essential services that affect millions of citizens. No? Decision based solely on intuition or public or political preference may lead to ineffective or even harmful policy. So by adhering to this principle of objectivity, reproducibility, and systematic investigation, you as researcher can provide policymakers with reliable evidence that support informed and accountable decision making. So, this is the essence of evidence-based governance, where public decisions are guided by scientific knowledge rather than assumption of anecdotal experiences. The first major approach, no, but prior to that, no, having discussed the principle of scientific inquiry, we now turn our attention to one of the most important decisions every researcher must make, no? Selecting the appropriate research method, no? A research problem determines the research method, not the other way around. One of the common mistakes made by novice researchers is choosing a methodology simply because they are familiar with it rather than because it best answers the research question. As doctoral scholars, your methodological decision must always be justified by the nature of the phenomenon you intend to investigate. The first major approach is qualitative research. No? Qualitative methods seek to understand human experiences, meanings, beliefs, perception, and social intervention. Rather than asking how many or how much, qualitative research asks questions such as why and how. It recognizes that many public administration issues cannot be adequately explained using numbers alone because governance is fundamentally a human activity involving values, cultures, leadership, and organizational behavior, and public trust. Through interviews, focus group discussions, observation, document analysis, and case studies, qualitative researchers gain deeper insights into how people interpret their experiences and why certain administrative phenomena occur. Okay, so on the other hand, no, quantitative research focuses on measuring variables and analyzing numerical data to identify patterns, relationship, differences, and causal effect. Quantitative data or quantitative research seek objective measurement that can be statistically analyzed to answer research question. This approach is particularly useful when researchers wish to determine the magnitude of a problem, compare groups, predict outcomes, or test theoretical relationship among variables. Statistical techniques allow researchers to examine whether observed differences or relationship are statistically significant and whether findings can be generalized to a larger population. Consider the sample example, no? Of the citizen feedback application. Suppose the local government wants to determine whether using the application has significantly reduce complaints, resolution time, and increase citizen satisfaction. Researcher may survey 1,000 citizens, collect administrative records, compare response time before and after implementation, and apply statistical analysis such as regression or structural equation modeling to determine whether digitalization significantly influenced service quality. And the result provides measurable evidence that can support policy decisions and resource allocation. At the doctoral level, however, researchers increasingly recognize that complex governance problems rarely fit neatly into a single methodology tradition. And this recognition has led to the growing adoption of mixed methods, no, which integrates both qualitative and quantitative approaches within a single study. Again, mixed methods combine the statistical strength of quantitative analysis with the contextual richness of qualitative inquiry. By integrating both forms of evidence, researchers gain a more comprehensive understanding of complex administrative phenomena. Dito po sa UCC, no, as far as I know, kapag doctoral level, dapat mixed methods. No? Okay, so sorry. As a future doctor of public administration, you should also appreciate that methodological choices are guided by your research objective. No, if your goal is to explore experiences, no, perception, organizational culture, or leadership dynamics, no, qualitative methods are generally appropriate. But if your objective is to measure relationship among variables, evaluate program effectiveness, predict outcomes, or test theories, quantitative methods are more suitable. If the research problem requires both statistical evidence and contextual understanding, mixed methods often provide the most comprehensive solution. Modern public administration research increasingly addresses multidimensional challenges such as climate resilience, digital governance, public health system, disaster risk reduction, artificial intelligence in government, and sustainable development. These issues involve political, economic, technological, organizational, and social in dimensions simultaneously. Consequently, contemporary doctoral research often employs sophisticated methodological designs that integrate multiple sources of evidence to generate robust and policy-relevant findings. As you begin planning your dissertation, always remember this guiding principle. No? Your research question should determine your methodology, not your personal preference, convenience, or familiarity within a particular research design. The most respected doctoral dissertation are those in which the methodology aligns logically with the research objectives and produces credible, valid, and meaningful evidence capable of informing policy, improving governance. No? Nanibago ako, matagal din nagdi-discuss eh. Okay, topic number 2, focus on characteristic of doctoral research in public administration. Having understood the methods of scientific inquiry, we now examine what distinguishes doctoral research from undergraduate or master's level research. Doctoral research is not simply a longer thesis or a more comprehensive report. No? Rather, it is an original and rigorous scholarly investigation that generates new knowledge, advanced theory, and provides meaningful solutions to complex governance and public administration issues. A doctoral study is characterized by originality, where the researcher addressed a significant gap in existing literature, methodological rigor, where appropriate research design and analytical techniques ensure credible and valid findings. Theoretical contribution, where existing concepts are refined, extended, or new frameworks are developed. And practical relevance, where the findings inform policy formulation, organizational improvement, or administrative reform. Let's say, for example, instead of merely assessing employee satisfaction in a government agency, a doctoral researchers might develop and validate a new model explaining how digital leadership, organizational resilience, and public service motivation collectively influence government innovation and service performance. Doctoral research expected to move beyond describing problem to explaining relationship, developing theories, influencing policy, and contributing lasting knowledge to the discipline of public administration, thereby demonstrating the researcher's ability to become an independent scholar and thought leader capable of addressing real-world governance challenges. One of the defining characteristics of doctoral research is its originality, no, and contribution to knowledge. As doctoral level, your goal is not to repeat what previous researchers have already done, but to identify what remain unknown, inadequately explained, or insufficiently studied. This is what we call a research gap. No? A research gap does not necessarily mean that no study has even ever been conducted on a topic. Rather, it means there are unanswered questions, conflicting findings, changing context, or emerging issues that require further investigation. For example, no? Wait lang. For example, no, numerous studies have examined digital governance in local government units, but many were conducted before the widespread adoption of artificial intelligence. So today, a doctoral researcher may ask, how does the integration of artificial intelligence influence citizen trust, no, transparency, and service quality in the Philippine local government? So this question address contemporary issues that previous studies may not have explored, thereby contributing new knowledge to the discipline. However, originality alone is not sufficient. So doctoral research must also demonstrate theoretical and practical contribution. A theoretical contribution means that your study advances existing theories or develops a new conceptual model that helps explain public administration phenomena more effectively. For instance, suppose you discover through your research that digital leadership strengthens the relationship between organizational resilience and innovation in government agency. Your findings may extend existing leadership theories by introducing a new governance framework that future researchers can test and refine. At the same time, your research should have practical implications. Now, imagine that your findings reveal that local government units with structured digital leadership training consistently achieve faster permit processing, higher employee engagement, and greater citizen satisfaction. So these results, no, could guide the Department of Interior and local government in designing leadership development programs or assist local chief executive in improving administrative practices. In this way, your dissertation does not merely satisfy an academic requirement. It improves evidence that the improved governance influence public policy and enhance public service delivery. As a future doctor in public administration, always remember this guiding principle. A dissertation should answer a question that matters not only to your university, but also to a government institution, policymaker, and society. Ask yourself, no, what knowledge does the discipline currently lack? How will my study improve existing theories? How can my findings help government leaders make better decisions? When your research addresses this question, it achieves its ultimate purpose, not only contributing to academic knowledge, but also creating meaningful and lasting improvements in public administration governance. Another defining characteristic of a high-quality doctoral research is a rigorous research design. A brilliant research topic alone does not guarantee an excellent dissertation. The credibility of your findings depends largely on the quality of your research design. A rigorously research design means that every component of your study, from the formulation of the research problem, literature review, theoretical framework, and sampling strategy, data collection procedures, analytical techniques, and interpretation of result, is logically aligned and scientifically justified. In other words, your methodology must be capable of answering your research question accurately and convincingly. For example, suppose you want to determine whether digital transformation improves service quality in local government units. It would not be sufficient to interview only 5 employees and conclude that all local governments have become more efficient. Instead, you must justify why you selected your respondent, explain your sampling technique, validate your research instrument, establish the reliability of your survey, choose appropriate statistical analysis such as regression or structural equation modeling. If examining causal relationship and acknowledge the limitations of your study, every methodological decision must be supported by scientific reasoning rather than convenience or personal preference. This is what we mean by methodological robustness. A research process that is transparent, systematic, replicable, and capable of producing reliable and valid findings. Equally important are ethical considerations, which are fundamental to every stage of doctoral research. Research does not only seek truth, it must also respect the rights, dignity, and welfare of participants. Whether your respondents are government employees, local officials, healthcare workers, teachers, or ordinary citizens, they must voluntarily participate after giving informed consent, fully understand the purpose of the study and how their information will be used. Their identities and responses must remain confidential unless they explicitly agree otherwise. Imagine that you are conducting research on corruption risk within a government agency. If respondents fear that their identities might be disclosed, they may refuse to participate or provide inaccurate information, compromising both the integrity of the research and their personal safety. Therefore, ethical research requires strictly confidentiality, secure handling of data, transparency in reporting results, and complete honesty in data collection and analysis. Fabricating data, manipulating statistical results, selectively reporting favorable findings, or presenting another person's work as your own are seriously violation of research ethics and academic integrity. Okay? One of the most critical components of doctoral research is the comprehensive literature review. No, many doctoral students mistakenly believe that the literature review is merely a collection of summaries from books and journal articles. In reality, literature review is a scholarly analysis that demonstrates your understanding on the current state of knowledge, identifies inconsistencies, recognizes research gaps, and justify why your study is necessary. A high-quality literature review should answer 3 important questions. Ano yun? What do we already know? What do we still not know? Why is it important to investigate this remaining gap? Therefore, your goal is not to summarize previous studies one by one, but to synthesize when then into coherent argument. Okay, argument will, wait lang. Argument that leads logically to your research problem. The first step is sourcing relevant studies. Okay, so the first step is sourcing relevant studies. As doctoral researchers, you must rely primarily on peer-reviewed journals article, index in reputable databases such as Scopus, Web of Science, ProQuest, Science Direct, GSTOR, Emerald, Springer Link, Tyler and Francis, Wiley Online Library, and Google Scholar. While books, government reports, policy documents, and dissertation may also provide valuable information, government reports, policy documents, also the backbone of your literature review should consist of current high-quality scholarly publication. As much as possible, prioritize studies, no, published within the last 5 to 10 years, especially in rapidly evolving areas such as digital governance, artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, health administration, and governance. No, all their seminal works may still be cited when discussing foundational theories, but contemporary research should dominate the review to ensure your study addresses current issues. Kapag historical, pwede yung mga old, pero kapag latest po, dapat 3 years or 5 years. So after gathering the literature, the next challenge is organizing and synthesizing. One of the most common and recommended approach is the thematic literature review. In thematic review, studies are organized according to recurring themes or concept rather than by author or publication year. For example, if your dissertation focuses on digital transformation in local government units, your literature review might include themes such as digital leadership, organizational readiness, and citizen trust, technological acceptance, service quality, and cybersecurity. Within each team, you compare the contrast what different researchers have found, identified areas of agreement and disagreement, and explain how these findings relate to your own study. And this approach produces a coherent and analytical discussions rather than a series of disconnected summaries. No? Another widely used approach is chronological, no, literature review. We have also methodological literature review, which groups studies according to the research methods they employed. Another valuable approach is the theoretical literature review, which focuses on comparing theories and conceptual framework used to explain a particular phenomenon. For doctoral studies, another increasingly important approach is the systematic review, literature review. No? Unlike a traditional literature review, a systematic literature review follows a transparent and reproducible protocol of identifying, screening, evaluating, and synthesizing studies. No? Researchers establish explicitly inclusion and exclusion criteria, which or search multiple databases, assess the quality of study, and document every step of another review process. Okay, so for doctoral students, no, another increasingly important approach again, we need also to examine, no, some realistic example, no. Suppose you propose dissertation entitled Artificial Intelligence Readiness of Philippine Local Government Units, no. A weak literature review would summarize 10 articles individually, discussing one author after another without making meaningful correction. A strong doctoral literature review, however, would organize the discussion into themes such as AI adoption, organizational readiness, digital leadership, public trust, ethical governance, and technology acceptance. Within each team, you would compare findings across different countries, identifying conflicting evidence, evaluate methodological strengths and weaknesses, and conclude by demonstrating that no previous study has comprehensively examined AI readiness with the Philippine local government context. That conclusion becomes the justification of your dissertation and establish its originality. Always remember that the literature review is not merely a background chapter. It is the intellectual foundation of your dissertation because it shapes your research questions, support your theoretical frameworks, guide your methodology, and ultimately demonstrate that your study fills an important gap in existing knowledge. As future Doctor of Public Administration, your literature review should not simply answer the question, what have others studied? It should convincingly explain what remains unknown, why it matters, and how your research will contribute to advancing both theory and public sector practice. Okay? So, this time, stop muna ako for this time. I have an important meeting lang po today at 3 p.m. Then I will continue this discussion and record my discussion tonight. And I will share it to you yung link po ng aking discussion, na continuation ng chapter 1. But don't forget, next meeting, start na po tayo ng ating chapter 2 discussion. Okay? So may I request everyone to please turn on your camera para sa ating attendance. Napaka-interesting ng research. Ang sarap-sarap, di ba? Para bang kailangan niyo na siyang i-embrace kasi nasa part na kayo ng pagde-develop, no? So, later on, magbibigay ako siguro sa inyo ng mga, sa last topic ko, magbibigay ako ng mga possible, study, no, na pwede niyong magamit sa research. No, kasi napakahalaga. No, ang daming pwedeng study ng field ninyo eh. Sobrang dami. Ako'y naiinggan yung gumawa ng maraming study sa public administration.
Pero parang ang sakit sa ulo.
Hindi yung sarap nga eh. Interesting nga eh. Okay, sige. One, two, three. Okay,
Ay,
sige. See you
Doc, may,
next week.
Doc,
By
may
presenter number 2. Yes pa.
question lang po ako. Doc, di ba, may requirements po ulit tayo na SS,
Opo.
SSRM.
Pag hindi kaya sa SSRM, pwede naman sa academia o sa ResearchGate. Either of
Kami
the
na lang
three.
po bahala
Oo.
sa grouping.
Kayo na rin
Okay
mag-group.
po.
Sige.
Tapos any topic ulit po.
Yes, please.
Thank
Mas
you,
maganda
Doc.
kung mixed methods. Joke lang. Mas maganda ko. Kasi ang inyong study sa inyong dissertation, I believe methods, mixed methods na kayo kasi doctorate degree kayo. Yun ang pagkakaalam ko. Kasi nang nagdoctoral ako dyan, ako, quali ako eh. Pinagawa kong mixed methods. Diyan din ako nag-DPE kasi. Pinagawang
Okay
mixed
po.
methods eh.
Doc, pwede din po ako mag-post ng possible dissertation topic po.
Mag-share, yes, tas mag-share ako ng mga possible topic.
Okay po. Thank
Oo,
you.
na pumili kayo. Ang daming sa government, promise. Ako ang dami-dami ko nakikita sa government na pwedeng topic. Sige po, bye-bye. Post ako ng sample topic sa group natin.
Oo, nag-picturean. Ano ba kayo? Ay, sorry, sir. Hi, sir.
Nag-post ako ng mga sample topic.
Thank
Bye-bye
you.
po.
Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc.